Hey all, here at OS Reviews, you're watching our hands-on review of the Silicone ultra-thin wireless keyboard and mouse combo. We actually felt deja vu when first looking at this product because a few months ago we checked out something very similar from the same company. This is their kind of standard keyboard and mouse combo that sells for $35, and it won our Editor's Choice Award just because it really is a well-designed keyboard with very nice ergonomics. The fact that you only need one wireless USB dongle to connect both a mouse and a keyboard is very useful, and the fact that you can charge it up using micro USB is more convenient than having to toss away batteries when you run out. So we like that, and basically this is a copy and paste version of that one, except it's now larger, includes a dedicated numpad, QWERTY layout, has just 1 nano receiver, and it supports both Linux, Mac, and PC. It's just a plug-and-play option with no additional drivers that you need to install. The most interesting thing about this packaging, though, is there's actually a protector that you get in the box this time. It's a silicone mat that you can place on top of the keyboard to prevent dust from accumulating, and it also protects the keys from getting worn out. Beneath the keyboard, we have a micro USB cable for charging, and there's also the exact same wireless mouse as we saw on the original variant, except now it's completely black as opposed to having a white and black accent. But it has the exact same weight, the same functionality, the same scroll wheel design, and the ability to change the DPI, or the sensitivity, on the top here. Also has a very slim portfolio, and under the battery compartment is where you'll see the 1 nano receiver that again works both for the mouse and the keyboard. A closer look at the design of the keyboard, again, very similar to the original version in terms of having a hump on the base here. That's where the battery is actually built in for recharging, and on both versions you'll have micro USB ports on the right hand edge for charging the keyboard when the power is running low. Luckily you only have to charge it once basically every month or two, since the battery really is long lasting and works quite well. One difference though is on the original you have curved keys, which look a little bit more elegant in my opinion. This one has square keys. On the top row there's access to additional media controls, including for volume, skipping tracks, and that works on Windows, Mac. It also works on Linux, in addition to Android devices that have a USB port. There's additional controls for page, scroll up, and there's also arrow keys, which are a lot larger now than they were on the original, since they had a lot more limited space to fit this in. And there's a new physical switch that you can tap on, and when it's green you can see this flash, and that means it's turned on. So there's now a slight modification, which is appreciated considering the last version had it on the back, which was harder to access. The plate of the keyboard is still made out of plastic like on the previous version, but it's not a huge deal since there is no real, kind of palm rest area, so it still feels fairly premium. The back, however, is made out of aluminum, just like on the last versions. Included desk cover, again, is a pretty unique new addition to the setup, and it stays in place surprisingly well because of the resistance that's created with the soft touch rubber that naturally just adheses to the surface. It's very similar to kind of a protector that you may see for MacBooks and other more expensive laptops on the market, and again it prevents the keys from getting worn down quite as quickly. With that being said, it does have a slightly different texture to the keys. It feels a little bit more mushy. The overall experience is still good, but it just loses a little bit more of that tactile sensation, and you maybe have to adjust to it by typing a little bit longer before you're used to how it feels like. Otherwise, I found that the accuracy was about the same as when I typed without this keyboard cover on, and what I really like is that the transparency of the cover doesn't really affect the lettering. You can still see it looks very clear. In fact, at first I was convinced that there was some kind of backlight that was causing the keys to remain very prominent and vibrant, as you can see there, but actually there's nothing. It's just the font that they chose that still comes across very cleanly even across a second layer. And now a test of what the keyboard sounds like, just typing something out very quickly. And in general, I found that the accuracy was very good. I made very little errors when typing on it. There's almost no acclimation in terms of having to get used to the layout. If you've used a standard kind of island or chiclet keyboard in the past, then you'll be right at home here. The keys are spacious, the layout is very standard, and again, there's a nice springiness to all the keys, even ones in the middle. The spacebar also feels very consistent. You can see how there's a more noticeable dip inside the center keys, so if you are typing along, it feels slightly more ergonomic on the original. The difference is on the full-size keyboard, the keys are both larger as well as a little bit looser in terms of the sound and the feeling. The mouse actually works really well, and just like before, we had no real complaints when it comes to the accuracy. You can change the DPI so that it can move around more freely on the screen, or it moves around more conservatively, and you have to exert more motion to get it to move, or you can get it to, again, a higher DPI. It's not going to be quite as good as a real gaming mouse if you do need really precise movements, but for casual use, for documents, for scrolling, everything feels smooth and responsive. Connection is also quite good. The nano receiver will get you easily 25 feet, 30 feet, so as long as the devices are in the same room, you should be fine. So if we interact with some of the pages here, you can see that scrolling is pretty smooth using the scroll bar on the top. The profile is also very slim, which means it's easy to take with you, but it doesn't have quite as ergonomic of a grip as some other models on the market. That's more or less our hands-on review of the Jellycomb full-sized wireless keyboard and mouse combo. As a whole, again, it provides the same benefits that we liked about the original, including a pretty responsive keyboard that offers nice springy keys, good battery performance, and a consolidated design that prevents you from taking up two USB ports on your computer when all you need is just one for both the mouse and the keyboard. Now, I think that in separation, they're not necessarily going to be the best keyboard or the best mouse. I think that, again, the mouse is a little bit thin, so it's not the most ergonomic in terms of postures. Also, the keyboard, I still prefer mechanical design, so if you want the absolute best one device, either this or that, then there might be better options. But if you are looking for a all-in-one set, this is a good option to consider. Thanks for watching this video here at OS Reviews.